ready. So at that point, and we did have a good influx of cash suddenly from somewhere, so we decided to get the newer Equinox, which, while it's a smaller SUV, personally I think it was much more it was a more open cabin. It didn't feel as claustrophobic as the 9.7. So I would assume that what was the 9.7 based on? I can't remember. It was the SUV that's under the Tahoe and above the Equinox. But yeah, very, very cramped cabin for some reason. And the Equinox was just so much more, arm room, leg room, the works. So I was happy to have the Equinox, but as I said, it started getting a little bit too expensive to keep on the road. So at that point, it was just, okay, we're done with that. And so first Honda I've had. And you're not going to dissolve? I have to bring it further. Okay. So we'll see how that works out for us over the coming months. But having followed Dave Ramsey's, why is that not disappearing? Advice on handling money, we did have a perfectly sufficient emergency fund to cover all of these troubles. It's just not quite as big as it used to be. I can't see it. Now it's gone. So I don't want the bales too far to the right when I put them down. Good. Now the good thing here, I think, being able to use grass silage, because we've now got the mixer, I can use grass silage as well as what's the other thing we use? Awesome. Maize silage. So maize silage is always going to be a little bit of a problem for us. But going forwards, we can make use of the grass silage. Using the robot doesn't like grass silage, it uses whole crop silage, which is why we have all the barley. But, so, from year 7 planting, there is going to be a large change in what we plant and when we plant. There is going to be maize, we are going to be turn it into silage. Now what I don't know with maize is, can I mow it like we do with the barley to make whole crop silage? If I can mow maize, I don't need to buy a big thing, a big piece of equipment to harvest it. That's unfortunate. Got stuck on the spikes. There you go. Okay. This will clear the entrance out so I can actually go in from the other end. Oh well, or not. And at this stage, I was, I was coloured by the fact that yes, Honda and Toyota tend to make a more reliable vehicle. So just going with a Honda. It might not be a fun vehicle to drive, but it shouldn't cause us too much trouble. Plus, Honda tend to support the vehicles that they make as opposed to some other manufacturers that once they stop making them, you're on your own. Oh my goodness, now we're fighting. Although Girlchild was up at 6 something this morning, and she usually stays in bed till afternoon if she can get away with it. So not surprised she's a bit tired. Although that said, she went to bed about 8 o'clock last night. She really was very tired yesterday. And the young boy is also getting a little bit more attentive to his sleep state. As he starts to get sleepy, he will fight it. I don't want to go to sleep. I don't want to take a nap. I don't want to lie down. But he's now getting to the point where I'm just going to go to bed. And he'll just get up and go to bed. Which is a good thing. Okay, we have fed the cows. So the cows are all happy and happy. Turn that off. Let's go and check on them, see what's what. Okay, we have food, 354,000 litres of food. I guess we'll put this trailer away. And then, as I said, I'm probably going to keep this trailer just for use with contracts. And we do need to get ourselves a replacement bale wrapper because I don't have one anymore. I'm not actually sure. See, if we go away from bales, we're going to need a forage wagon. They're quite pricey. And I think there's also some fermenting silos you can get that will make you silage. Unfortunately, with Maize Plus, I'm not sure their full operation. Do they just make silage, which for Maize Plus means everything turns out as whole crop silage, whether I put maize in, grass in, or whatever? Or is it specific to the thing I put in there? Come on, let's go. There we go. So, I guess right now, let's hitch up the Fendt to the sprayer, load it with fertilizer. We can go and get that grass field sprayed. There's the little skid steer. And I'll leave the sprayer attached because the plan is I'm gonna try and get to a point where I can use all 3 of our tractors to do things. That may not be incredibly easy. A bit close to the wall there. But there's definitely spraying and planting contracts to be done. Okay, no fertilizer in there. Which one is the liquid tank? The second one. Liquid fertilizer, 2,700 litres. Okay, it is what it is. Oops. Back up. And then the other thing I discovered, because of all the money issues, I decided to look up at what point are we allowed to access retirement. And it turns out that the Roth IRAs that we have can be accessed in 12 months' time if we ever needed to. And I look at a Roth IRA as it's an emergency fund. There are no withdrawal requirements on it, so you don't have to take 10% out every month or whatever the government determines that a 401k needs to withdraw. So that's kind of a good thing, and there's no tax to pay on it. So if you ever find yourself short of money, a Roth IRA will actually serve as oh, we want to go on vacation. Well, let's just draw money out from it. Obviously, personally, I wouldn't advise that. But it's a thing. And Mrs. Osa is up.
Oh, what? I
What?
just stepped in wetness.
I feel that also.
Do you know what it was?
No.
Go get that towel, Mark. Go get that towel over there and put it over here.
Okay, so we can now,
Wait.
I guess, turn this on. Yay. So this will not take too long, and as per usual,
Is that you holding the back?
okay, so Mrs. Osa's up. I'm not sure if teenage Osa's bothered to get up, although the kids did go and shake her awake, so that's a thing. Let's put cruise control on. I still need to get GPS installed on this tractor at some point, but obviously 3,500 money, we absolutely don't have enough cash to do that on hand. And all that will do is will make it more efficient to do these fields. I won't be dragging the boom over bits that we've already done. And let's try and get that straight. I mean, it's efficient enough that it turns off the boom where we're beyond the bounds of the field, so that's a good thing. But if I want to get ideal coverage, you know what I forgot to do is pick up the last 5 bales. Gonna need to go and get the dude. I really don't want to put this on a worker because I'll have to pay for it. I'll go round the field once. We'll go off and get the telehandler, move the last 5 bales, and then we'll get back to spraying. Our fertilizer usage on this is well slow, so that's a good thing. So if I'm understanding right, the extended display we now have is showing us the maximum and minimum temperature for the day and the current temperature. I'm not sure what temperature scale I've got set. I suppose we could see that on that screen. Okay, we are running in Celsius, so I assume that shows game selected temperature scale. I mean, obviously living in America, I've become far more used to Fahrenheit temperatures rather than Celsius temperatures. But since we are playing an Irish farm, I have selected speed in kilometres and most of the rest of the stuff in British Isles standard measurements. Or European standard measurements. I should probably have the money as euros because Irish. But I didn't, so. And that's because normally I play English farms, so I tend to prefer having UK currency, although the currency symbol in Farming Simulator isn't really a critical thing. Let's turn the engine off, jump out, go get the telehandler. Oh, let's take a ride. See, I don't have to walk all the way. Oh, we have the truck in the shed too. Yeah, I'm kind of... I definitely don't have the ability to make a cornfield this year. We might have the opportunity to buy a field that has been seeded with corn, and maybe buy it. And then we can do some corn tests to see if I can mow it or not, or whether I need a forage harvester. If I get a fairly small corn patch, we could use a tractor-mounted forager, but we'll have to see. Okay. And yeah, managed to get looking on Millennial Farmer this week, who's finished his corn planting for the year before it started, well, kind of as it started raining. So he's now down to just the beans. Although, no, he said he was doing wheat as well. Don't know if he's planted the wheat yet. It's not a crop he usually plants, but this year, wheat will be a thing. Okay, hopefully they both disappear. Yes. And then, of course, the other thing I'm planning here is... what am I planning here? Oh, I'm going to leave the sprayer on the back of the Fendt. And we will look at some fertilizer contracts tomorrow. I think I've got it set. I can set 6 contracts at a time. So I could either set up 3 seeding contracts and 3 spraying contracts and then supervise. Or because doing it that way, we can have 2 contracts going at the same time, as opposed to what I normally do, which is take 6 of the same contract, run round and do them all, and I have 1 tractor doing all of them, but it's cheaper for me because I don't have to pay worker fees. And with 3,500 in the bank, probably a lot less by tomorrow, that may be a problem. Okay. Drop this in here as well. So that's boosted the food levels a little bit. How much do we have in there now? Food, 391. That's not bad. Okay, turn that off. And not that one. That one. Yay. Turn that one back on again. Didn't look at what the current environmental score on this field is now, because we just harvested it, and so I have an 82 environmental score. That's sad. That field's 64, and that's because nitrogen, pH, and weed control haven't been done. Well, we haven't topped off the nitrogen on that field yet. We haven't done any weed control yet. I think the weed control gets updated immediately. And the pH value is good, but the nitrogen and pH will not update until we harvest those fields. This one, I think I screwed up with the nitrogen. It's fully sprayed, but I didn't spray it last year. This one's fine. This one's at 98, so he's in a good state. This one is just nitrogen and pH. I would have to harvest it in order to bump that back up again. Over here, again, the nitrogen is bad. I think I forgot to nitrogenate those fields as well last year. This one's 100, this one's 98, this one's 85. Yeah, we couldn't put lime in that field last year because it had a crop in it when we bought it, and we've got a similar problem here. I think this is probably good nitrogen levels, maybe. I would have to drive out there and look, but I think the nitrogen levels on this field will be good. The pH levels will suck because it already had a crop in. This one, what is going on there? Tillage, we didn't... That's weird. That's got a problem because we did seed that one properly. We just have to go back to this field and spray it for weeds, spray it for fertilizer, and this one. And they should correct themselves when we harvest them next year. That's the problem. Weed control and fertilizer doesn't correct itself until you harvest. Yes, I do that. We do that as well. Our Roth, obviously, we put money into the 401k because that is going to be our retirement. It's going to pay out, every month once we get to retirement. And the government insists that we do that from a certain age. But the Roth IRAs are just money you can use at any time. So from this from this time next year, I can take money out of it and I can put at least some money back into it if I take money out of it because I absolutely need it. Other than that, I can just keep putting money in it so long as I have a job. As soon as I stop having a job, it's then a finite resource. If I don't